Good evening and welcome to Skyland's Ice World inside the Forum for Pope John Middle School Hockey. Mike Formisano here calling today's night game. Thank you so much for joining us as the Pope John Junior Lions 8-0 on the middle school season are taking on High Point Wallkill Kittatinny. These two teams met back in November and Pope John came away with a victory by a score of 10-7. And we'll see if High Point can get their payback tonight. Let's go over the rosters for both teams. We start with High Point. Number 1 is Aiden Jubin. He's in net for High Point. For number 3, Dustin Slime. And number 6, Clayton Atkins. Number 9 is Mason Hall. Number 11, Anthony Pagano. 12 is Anna Atkins. 13 is Johnny Tokar. 14, Anthony Monda. 15, Michael Monda. 16 is Hunter Leo. 17, Jackson Shea. 18 is Jason Shell. 19 is Noah Bernstein. 21 is Nate Blytroy. Number 22 is Stephen Naidone. Number 86, Thomas Cook. Number 96, Benjamin Drellick. The head coach of High Point is Michael Beltran, assisted by coaches Mike Bernstein and Eric Slater. For Pope John, the Lions are actually short-handed tonight. Numerous players missing from the roster, but they do have a full enough lineup to get through. We start with the goaltender. Number 33 is James Boyce. His brother, number 15, Josh Boyce. Number 19, Connor Dunn. Number 22, Michael Formisano. Number 27 in the blue and light blue jersey, Miro Zahorsky. Number 43 is Caden Chamberlain. Dylan McCarthy is wearing number 8 tonight. And Seb Rusin is in the lineup for the Lions as well. No number on the back of his jersey. We'll see if there are any other additions to the lineup as we go. I believe Luke Walsh and Logan Dixon should be in the lineup for tonight as well. We'll get confirmation of that in just a little bit. The head coach of the Pope John Junior Lions is Maria Petro. And assistant coaches Charlie Spetz and Mark Weaver as they'll come through later in the season at different times to assist. And also, I believe on the bench tonight is Miro Zahorsky, assisting Coach Petro. I am Mike Formisano. We are here live inside the Forum at Skyland's Ice World. It is Pope John at 8-0, taking on High Point, who has 2 defeats on the season. We'll be back for opening face-off right after this. Welcome back to Skyland's Ice World inside the Forum for Pope John Middle School Hockey. Mike Formisano along with you calling tonight's action as the Pope John Junior Lions at 8-0 are taking on High Point Wallkill Kittatinny. One addition to the lineup, as we said, Luke Walsh is here, and he is number 11 for Pope John. And he will start out along with Seb Rusin and Connor Dunn on the front line. And on defense, Miro Zahorsky and Michael Formisano. So James Boyce in net for Pope John. In net for High Point is number 1, Aiden Juba. Noah Bernstein and Michael Monda on the ice for High Point, as Monda will take the draw. Number 15 for High Point Wallkill Kittatinny. Monda and Walsh with the draw. Coming in just a second. Here we go, opening draw. Pope John looking to go to 9-0. They'll have to get through High Point first. Here's the opening draw, and it goes over to the boards, picked up by number 27. And that is Jason Shell. Now Damian Slater with it. Slater, actually number 27 is Damian Slater. So Slater goes ahead, moves into the corner. He's being checked by Rusin. picked up by Luke Walsh. Brother Ryan is out with a minor injury. He's going ahead and healing tonight, so we hope he feels better. And for everyone else who's not here, we hope they are enjoying their time away. Here is number 19, the shot. Saved by James Boyce. Kicked out the right pad. And now the puck picked up by Rusin. It's along the boards now. Number 11, Anthony Pagano passes across to Bernstein. The shot deflected off of his teammate Monda, and it goes into the near corner. Formasano and Walsh digging in the corner trying to get that out. Monda behind the net now. A reverse course. Looking to come in front. The shot saved by Boyce. A rebound. And a save by James Boyce. Big save on the rebound by Bernstein. And Boyce coming up tall. 1 minute into this game here between Pope John and High Point. The Lions 8-0 on the season, taking on High Point, who has 2 defeats. 1 to West Milford McQuantock and another to Pope John. Actually, I think West Milford McQuantock beat him again, so I think it's 3 losses for High Point now. Here's the faceoff by Dylan McCarthy, and it goes back to Formasano in the corner. Here's Michael Formasano skating the puck up. Getting past Pagano into neutral ice over the red line, now over the blue. Formasano coming in. On net, the shot on goal. Save Juba. And High Point picks it up. Now it's loose in front. Formasano trying to put it home. Checked off the puck by Slyman. Now it goes off the glass. Comes back out to center ice. Formasano will just slap it in. And it goes back behind the High Point net. Number 3, Dustin Slyman with it for High Point. Being checked off the puck by Chamberlain. It comes back out to neutral ice. And the Kings looking to play it back in. Another player without a number. I'm going to have to find out who that is in just a little bit. Number 22 in the backhand for High Point. Save by Boyce. And he'll hold on. Take a quick timeout. We'll be right back.
Who's the other player without the number? Except Lucy's one of them. He's got the light green socks on. Braden Bayer. Okay, thanks so much.
Welcome back, and the face-off in the Pope John end. Braden Bayer is the other player without the number, but that's Seb Rusin skating across the blue line. Rusin coming in on the backhand. Rusin with the shot. He scores! Seb Rusin into the left side of the net, past Dayton Juba. Pope John leads 1-0. Rusin's goal comes with 13:06 remaining in the first period. Seb Rusin with the goal, and it's 1-0 Pope John. So Rusin, Walsh, and Dunn, along with Braden Bayer and Miro Zahorsky out there for the Lions. Sent all the way around behind the High Point net, picked up there by 96 Benjamin Drellick. Goes into the corner. Here's Rusin, right near the Zamboni doors. Rusin behind the net in front to Zahorsky, back to Bayer. Bayer has it in the skates. High Point trying to steal it away, and here's Noah Bernstein. Bernstein turning on the Jets, supersonic, into the zone. Backhand pass across to number 11, Pagano. Anthony Pagano in the corner. Shot on goal, save, Boyce. Glove save, and he'll hold on. Boyce is coming back in on a plane flight today to make this game. We want to thank them for making the effort come out. I believe they were in Detroit, where city of Detroit's going nuts right now as they're in the NFC Championship game going up against us, against San Francisco, the 49ers. So the Lions and the 49ers, the NFC Championship. Boyce came in from Detroit. Blocker glove saved by Boyce. And it goes into the corner, picked up there by number 15, Josh Boyce. Now Zahorsky and Monda fighting for it. Michael Monda in the corner. Monda turns back around. Stolen away by Zahorsky, and Zahorsky will take it outside the zone to pass up to McCarthy. Stolen away by Bernstein, number 19, Noah Bernstein in the high slot. Bernstein, the pass into Monda in the corner. Michael Monda with it. Formasano on him. Good defense by Formasano. Monda gets it back. Pass across, deflected by Zahorsky. The shot goes wide left, and Formasano will play it up. Slater holds it along the boards. Drellick now with it, number 96. Into the corner. There's Bernstein. Bernstein with the pass across. Comes back to the point. Slater with it. Damian Slater with the shot. Save, rebound. Bernstein puts it home. Noah Bernstein off the shot from Damian Slater. Boyce made the left pad save. Came right to Bernstein. And the goal makes it 1-1. So Bernstein with assists from Slater and Pagano, and it makes it 1-1. Luke Walsh taking the draw. Connor Dunn on the left and Seb Rusin on the right. Now Rusin out of the circle. Forbesano and Bayer on defense. I believe Bayer has jersey number 10 right now. And here is number 14, Anthony Monda, into the zone. Stolen away. Forbesano with the pass up to Dunn. Goes past him and into the corner. Rustin Slyman now to Drellick. Stolen away by Walsh. Here's Luke Walsh. Walsh skating into the corner, trying to go behind. Sends it in towards the net. It's poked away by Zuba. 11:05 to go. First period. Puck stolen by Dunn. Dunn to Walsh. Luke Walsh coming in. Walsh with Rusin. Walsh to Rusin. The shot. Save Zuba. It's loose. And it goes out towards the boards. There's Forbesano on the point. Forbesano with the slap shot. Save Zuba. I don't hold on. Michael Forbesano with a howitzer from the blue line. And Juba makes the save. Shots on goal at this point, 8-4 in favor of High Point. And we are tied at 1. Pope John and High Point Wallkill Kittatinny. The Lions tonight shorthanded by numerous players who are out of the lineup, but enough to field the team. Just a shallow bench. Well, the puck comes out to the near boards. It's held in by Bayer. Now Michael Mondo will play it out to Bernstein. Bernstein in front of us, number 19 for High Point. Passes it back to Dick Bleibtreu. Bleibtreu with it inside his own zone. He'll skate over the red. They're going to break into the zone now to Bernstein. No, Bernstein stolen away by Bayer. And Bayer will play it outside the zone. And it comes back to Bleibtreu. Bleibtreu over to Bonda. Michael Bonda looking to break inside the zone. Bonda holding the blue line. Sends it in to Bernstein. Bernstein in the corner. Stolen away. And here come the Kings. Zahorsky outside the zone. It's underneath. That's actually Caden Chamberlain. And now here's McCarthy. McCarthy will give it to his teammate. That is number 15, Josh Boyce. Stolen away by Bernstein. Noah Bernstein over the red, now over the blue. Bernstein coming in. He's all alone. Bernstein with the shot. He fanned on it. And the Kings are able to clear it outside the zone. Miro Zahorsky sends it all the way back to neutral ice. Here's Damian Slater. Pass to Bernstein off his stick. Zahorsky picks it up. Miro Zahorsky, number 27 for Pope John tonight. Drops it off of Forbesano. Forbesano loses it. Bernstein with the backwards pass. In front of Monda, the shot. He scores. Michael Monda underneath the glove of James Boyce, and High Point takes a 2-1 lead. Monda's goal comes with 9:24 remaining in the first period. High Point leads 2-1. Here's the face-off. Won by the Lions. Here comes Rusin. Rusin in. The shot saved by Zuba. And it comes back out to the High Point defense. Now cross ice pass and High Point coming in. There's number 96, Drellick with it. Drellick goes around the net. In front. It's poked away. Here is Dunn. Connor Dunn coming up the ice with it. Now to Rusin. Seb Rusin in. The pass to Dunn inside the skates of Slater. Now here's Luke Walsh. Walsh will send it into the corner. Only 2 more games remaining in regular season play tonight and next Sunday against Jefferson, and then the postseason. Pope John will most definitely be there as they do not have a defeat on their ledger, although tonight is definitely a question. As for High Point, they have 3 losses. They should be able to make it. West Milford Pequannock has 2. They won earlier tonight against Wayne Middle School, and so they'll most definitely make it. And in the 4th spot, I believe maybe Jefferson, but I'm not sure. We have to check the standings and see. Here's Slater inside the zone, poked away by Forbesano. Good defensive play by him. Now goes over. Forbesano with the dive, gets the puck to Dunn. Forbesano playing excellent defense tonight. Position he doesn't normally play. It goes into the corner. Now Dunn. Bernstein has it. Off of Luke Walsh. Walsh picks it up. Walsh on the face-off dot. The backwards pass, no good. And High Point will pick it up. Here is Nate Troy with Monda. And an offside as Zahorsky gets a stick on the puck. And as Troy recovers, Monda is a step ahead. 7:48 remaining in the first period. 2-1, High Point leads over Pope John. We're inside the Forum at Skylands Ice World for this contest. The first meeting between these two teams, High Point and Pope John. The Lions won 10-7. And High Point looking for payback tonight. Here's the draw, won by McCarthy. And Bayer sends it all the way up the ice. Slyman has it now for High Point. The pass back to Troy. Caden Chamberlain with the forecheck. Right in front of the blue line. Chamberlain forcing it in. Past Monda. Michael Monda will turn back around behind his own net now. Now McCarthy with it. Loses it over to Bernstein. Noah Bernstein from his own goal. Here's Bernstein skating over the blue and now the red. Bernstein inside the zone. Noah Bernstein going into the corner. Bernstein with the shot on goal. Saved by Boyce. And there's Bayer with the pass to McCarthy. It goes back around and Formisano giving chase. Michael Formisano in the far corner. Gets the puck back. Sticks up between Formisano and Bernstein. Now comes back out to the point to Troy. Troy sidesteps Boyce. Backwards pass in front. Tip goes wide into the near corner. Here's Monda. Monda around Bayer. Trying to get around McCarthy. Here is McCarthy with it. Monda tying him up. Michael Monda goes back the other way. Looking for the right post. Pass to Bernstein in the corner. Back to Monda. Michael Monda to the left side of the net, to the far corner now. He's got Josh Boyce on hip. Monda being harangued. Puck's lost to Formisano, and here's Formisano for Pope John. Michael Formisano skated outside the zone. Pass up to Josh Boyce. Stolen away by Troy for High Point. Now McCarthy. Lost it to Monda. Monda pokes it into the zone. Past Bayer. Stolen away. Here is Bernstein. Now McCarthy takes it. And Dylan McCarthy inside the zone. He's got Slyman on him. Chamberlain and Bernstein in front of us. Bernstein will take it back into the Pope John end. The pass across to number 11. The shot on goal. Wide right. Anthony Pagano missed the right post. McCarthy tried to play it out. And there is Chamberlain up to Josh Boyce. Just out of his reach. He's racing towards it. No icing. Drellick and Boyce in there. Boyce behind the net. Stolen away by Slater. Slater trying to give it to Bernstein. Here is Noah. Over the blue line. Noah coming in on number 10, Bayer. Bernstein around the net. The wraparound attempt is scores. Noah Bernstein with the wraparound past James Boyce. That'll make it 3-1 High Point over Pope John. So Bernstein's goal unassisted with 5:08 remaining. 3-1 High Point leads over Pope John. Here's the face-off. Won by High Point. Goes back to Bayer. And Bayer over the blue line, now over the red. Bayer will send it in all the way around it goes. And picked up by Slater. Pope John looking to keep their perfect record intact. Most likely still have a playoff spot. Here's Dunn in front. Connor Dunn, stonewalled by Juba. Now Rusin with the shot. Saved by Juba. Dunn with it. Dunn knocked off the puck to Bayer. Bayer sends it in. Off the skate of number 16 for a High Point. That's Hunter Leo. He loses it at the blue line. There's Luke Walsh. Walsh on the red. Pass to Dunn. Connor Dunn coming in. Along the far boards. Tied up there. Dunn trying to get around the defense. Can't do so. Now Rusin. Rusin with it. Rusin turns back around. Taken away by number 14, Anthony Monda. Puck cleared outside the zone, and Pope John has to chase. Will it be enough? It's going to be on goal, so James Boyce has to play it. And now stolen away by High Point. Shot in. Glove save by Boyce. And he'll hold on. 3:56 remaining, first period. High Point leads Pope John 3-1. The Lions looking to remain perfect on this season at 8-0. They have a tall task in front of them tonight. with a fully loaded High Point roster. Formasano will take the draw against Michael Manda. Here's a face-off. Formasano wins it. Gives it back to McCarthy. McCarthy loses it over to Manda. Manda behind the net. A reverse course. Manda with the goal tonight. Noah Bernstein with the other two for High Point. For Pope John, Seb Rusin. And a puck over to McCarthy. McCarthy over the blue line. Now over the red. Dylan McCarthy coming in. McCarthy pulls up. The shot deflected, and it goes off the glass. Behind the goal. Picked up by McCarthy there. Puck comes around. High Point has it. There's Blythe Troy. Up to Manda. Michael Manda, number 15 for High Point. Pass up to Bernstein. Deflected in. McCarthy got a piece of it. It goes into the far corner. Now Manda with it. Michael Manda. Across to Bernstein. The shot over the crossbar and into the netting and out of play. Bernstein right on the doorstep. Just got a little too much underneath it. And it went into the netting. 3-1. Pope John trailing High Point. 3 minutes remaining in the first period. Here's the face-off between Dunn and Manda. Goes to Manda. That was actually Luke Walsh. Comes out to center ice. There is Dustin Slyman. Right in front of us. Connor Dunn with it. Knocked off the puck by Manda, but he gets it back. Along the far boards, Bernstein steals it. Pass to Manda. Michael Manda in the skates of Walsh. Trickles over to Bernstein. Bernstein, the far corner, behind the net. He'll take it to the near face-off circle. Goes around the world with it. Down the high slot. Now back to the far end. Along the boards, being checked by Rusin. Can't break free. Finally passes it back to Blythe Troy. Nate Blythe Troy fires. Save! Boyce. Right into the breadbasket. He'll hold on. 3-1. High Point leads over Pope John. 2:18 to go in the opening period. This is Pope John Middle School Hockey. We're glad you're with us here on this Sunday evening. Forget about the NFC Championship. Tape that. Watch it later. Formasano takes the draw on the far end for Pope John. He wins it and gives it back to Bayer. Brendan Bayer. Trying to get around number 22. And that is Jason Shell. Now back to Damian Slater, number 27. Pass up off of Anthony Monda's stick. And there is Dylan McCarthy. McCarthy, number 8 tonight. Number 22 with it for High Point. Formasano picks it up for Pope John. Over the blue line. Trying to get around Slater. Formasano with a nice move. But it loses the puck over to Drellick. Benjamin Drellick. Caden Chamberlain on him. Held at the point by 10. There's Bayer with the shot. Deflected in front. Formasano just tips it wide. And there's Slater to clear it out of the way. Now Formasano trying to steal it. He gets it back. And taken away by Anthony Manda. Manda over the red line. Now Drellick. Benjamin Drellick with it. Taken away by Bayer. Along the boards. High Point has it there. Drellick with the shot. Wide right. Picked up by 22 for High Point. Cleared out of the way by McCarthy. Dylan McCarthy with it now. Puck coming into Boyce. It's stolen by Bayer. Now over to McCarthy. Dylan McCarthy, number 8 for Pope John over the red line. Coming in for Formasano and Chamberlain. Here's 8 in the corner. Tries to center it. Can't do so. Now in front. McCarthy with it. The shot. Save by Juba. And he'll hold on. 45 seconds remaining in the opening period. 3-1. High Point leads over Pope John. Shots on goal. 14-7 in favor of High Point. The official name is High Point, Wallkill, and Kittatinny. On the middle school level, a lot of times teams will join up from neighboring towns to be able to field the full roster. West Milford does that as well. West Milford and Pequannock, as they're right next door to each other. Here's Rusin, back to McCarthy. McCarthy fires, deflected by Bernstein. The shot comes in wide left, and Bernstein picks it up in the far corner. Got done on him. Bernstein lifts it over the Pope John defense into Michael Manda. Michael Manda bringing in. Nero's a horse. He's able to poke it off his stick. Good defensive play. Now Monda in the corner. Gets around Zahorsky. Stolen away by McCarthy. McCarthy backhands it out to Dunn. Connor Dunn along the boards. 15 seconds remaining. Dunn coming in. Dunn with Rusin. Dunn to the far face-off dot. The shot wide left. Goes into the corner. There's Monda. Monda up to Bernstein with 4 seconds. Bernstein coming in. Slap shot wide left into the corner. And that's the end of the first period. Well, Pope John gets the first goal from Seb Rusin, but after that, Noah Bernstein tallies a pair and Michael Monda with the goal. And at the end of the first period, it's High Point over Pope John, 3-1. We'll be back with second period action right after this. Welcome back to Skylands Ice World inside the Forum for Pope John Middle School Hockey. Mike Formisano along with you calling tonight's action as Pope John Junior Lions trail the High Point Wallkill Kittatinny team 3-1. Yeah. Goals by Noah Bernstein, 2 of them, and 1 for Michael Monda for High Point. Seb Rusin with the tally for Pope John. The Lions in their blue uniforms trimmed by white with Pope John Middle School, and the Lion with the hockey sticks and puck on the crest, and numbers in white on the back. High Point Wallkill Kittatinny with their black uniforms with red and white trim. Pope John going left to right, High Point right to left. Shots on goal after the first period, 14-7 in favor of High Point. The face-off between Dylan McCarthy, number 8, and number 15, Michael Monda. And it goes into the Pope John end. This could very well be a playoff matchup in a few weeks. Pope John with the number 1 seed right now with 0 defeats. That could change after tonight. They trail. Here's Walsh in front of McCarthy. McCarthy with a shot. Save, rebounds loose. And it comes back out towards the point and outside the zone. Pope John knocking on the doorstep there. Just can't put it home. Now Bernstein behind the net. Bayer. Now Bernstein. Stolen away by Walsh. Luke Walsh poking it ahead. Monda with it. Now to Bernstein. Noah Bernstein with the backhander. Saved by James Boyce. And it goes into the corner. Monda and Bernstein along in there. Comes out to Monda. Monda with the shot. Boyce with the save. And he holds on. James Boyce has been rock solid all year for Pope John. In the net again tonight for the Lions. 14:05 remaining, just underway in the second period. 3-1, High Point leads. The face-off between number 96, Drelick, and number 8, McCarthy for Pope John. One by Drelick, goes back to the point. Slyman slaps it in. Now to Drelick on the face-off dot. Shot off the crossbar. And it comes back out to the left where Luke Walsh clears it out of harm's way. Now Zahorsky with it. High Point has it on the side of the net and taken away by Seb Rusin. Pass up to McCarthy. Here is Dylan McCarthy inside the zone. He's got Luke Walsh with him. McCarthy around Slyman. McCarthy has it now, backhanded off of Slyman, and Slyman will send it into the corner. Seb Rusin picks it up along the doors. Pass Bayer, and High Point has a break. Here comes Anthony Monda. Monda with 22. The puck comes in. The shot saved by Boyce. It's tipped away. That was Didone, and now the puck's loose on the doorstep to the left post, and Pope John clears it out of the way. Here's Walsh up to Rusin. Seb Rusin over the blue line. Rusin coming in. Rusin, the puck's dribbling on him. He has to turn back around, try to get it to Walsh, can't get through the defense. Here's McCarthy, stolen by Drelick, and High Point will go the other way. So Pope John getting chances, he just can't convert. Here's Drellick in. Drellick with the shot. He scores. Benjamin Drellick puts it past James Boyce. And High Point takes a 4-1 lead. Pope John with the opportunity at the one end, and as is so often in hockey, the opposing team who makes the big save is able to go the other way and get the goal, and that's exactly what happened. High Point with the tally, and it's 4-1. Face off between Formersano and Manda. Won by Formersano, and it goes over to Dunn. Connor Dunn on defense. Pass up to Chamberlain. Stolen away by Bernstein. Bernstein over the red, now over the blue. Noah Bernstein coming in. Bernstein with the shot. Saved by Boyce. Oh, point blank save by James Boyce. Now it comes in, and Zagorski is able to move it out of the way. Trickles in, and Dunn is able to clear it. Now Formersano up the ice. Michael Formersano over the red. Formersano coming in over the blue. Formersano with the pass to Chamberlain. Chamberlain with the shot. Deflected by Manda. Comes back to the point. There's Zagorski. He'll tip it in, but Slater steps in front of that one. Damian Slater over the red, now over the blue. Slater trying to sidestep Josh Boyce. It's cleared out of the zone. And as High Point tries to play it back in, we have an offside. 12:02 remaining, second period. 4-1, High Point leads over, and I'm not trying to make an excuse, but a depleted Pope John roster tonight. Well, the Lions are without Tristan Stillwagon. They're without Hayden Marshall and Hannah Marshall. They're without Ronnie Ziegler, Logan Dixon, Ryan Walsh. So some big names out of the roster tonight for Pope John, among others. But life happens. Here is Bernstein along the boards coming in. Noah Bernstein with the shot. Saved by Boyce. And the other thing for Pope John is that they're going up against what appears to be a full High Point roster. I don't see anybody missing. I think Anna Atkins is missing. Johnny Tokar, Jackson Shea. There's a few players missing. Thomas Cook, maybe. So you can say it for both sides. There's some big guns on each side, too. Seb Bruce was added to the game tonight. Puck in front, cleared by Boyce. And it goes into the corner. You know, you got Formersano, you got Gunn, you got Seb Bruce, and as I said, you got Luke Walsh. You know, some of the mainstays, Josh Boyce as well. Puck trickles past the left post. Here is Dunn along the boards. Now Chamberlain up to Formersano. Nate Blythe will steal it. And as Blythe touches up, we have a penalty. And Pope John is going to go to the power play. Number 96, Benjamin Drellick, who just scored the last goal with the tripping call. And we'll get the official announcement. So Drellick with the trip and Pope John on the power play. We're glad you're with us here this evening inside the Forum at Skylands Ice World. Mike Formersano along with you, calling tonight's action. Thank you so much for joining us. Face-off won by McCarthy, goes to Walsh, sent in by Bayer. In the corner, there's Slyman, Roosing on him. Now Bernstein trying to play it past Dunn, and he does. Comes back out to center ice. Bernstein trying to get around Bayer. He does. Bernstein coming in front of Manda. He can't tee it up. Manda back to Bernstein behind the net. There's Noah. In the corner, he's got McCarthy on him. Bernstein and McCarthy. Off the boards. Held in by Blythe Troy. Shot comes in. Save. It's in the slot. And Manda's able to put it home. Michael Manda, right on the doorstep, is able to put the second rebound home. A shorthanded goal by High Point, and they lead 5-1. 10:32 remaining in the second period. So Manda with the assist from Bernstein, and it's 5-1. Here's the face-off. It goes over to Roosing. Roosing over the blue line. Roosing coming in. Roosing all alone. The shot goes past Juba and behind the net. Well, Pope John's going to have to dig deep to try and get themselves out of this hole. Here's Bayer. Deflected down off Manda. Now here's Roosing. Roosing with the shot. Saved by Juba. The rebound's loose. And McCarthy can't tally. He'll come back around. Dylan McCarthy with it. To the high slot. Up at the point. Now comes on to the face-off circle. Into the corner. Puck flips up to Walsh. Luke Walsh on the side of the net. Walsh gives it to Rusin. To Walsh, who loses an edge. Gets back up. Luke Walsh in the high slot. Walsh. Over to Zahorsky. Penalty's over to High Point. And we're back to five-side hockey. Here is Bernstein. Noah Bernstein rushes in. Bernstein coming in on goal. Bernstein with the shot. He scores. Noah Bernstein will make it 6-1. And High Point with a 5-goal lead. Got a goal from Bernstein. It makes it 6-1. High Point over Pope John. Now the face-off between Drellick and McCarthy for Pope John. 6-1, High Point leads over the Lions. Puck along the far boards is Drellick. McCarthy into the zone. Dylan McCarthy goes into the corner. Puck comes out, goes back behind. Here's Connor Dunn. Dunn along the boards. Connor Dunn coming in. Tip back to Rusin. Stole it away, and here comes Drellick. Drellick over the blue line. Drellick in the corner, in front. Poked away by Formasano. Now, right on the doorstep, Anthony Mata trying to put it home, and Boyce makes the save and holds it right on the goal line. 6-1, High Point has exploded for 3 goals here in the second period. They lead by 5 over Pope John. 8:49 remaining in the second period. Here's a face-off. Goes back to number 21, Nate Blytroy. Luke Walsh tried to steal it. The shot deflected over the crossbar and into the netting and out of play. Well, the face-off will be to the left of Boyce. No, I'm sorry. They're going to move it to the right. Face-off between McCarthy and Drellick. And it goes into the far boards. Rusin picks it up for Pope John. Seb Rusin over the blue line. Rusin coming in on defense to Walsh. Walsh with the shot. Save! And it goes over to Slyman. Now McCarthy over to Rusin. Rusin tried to tip it home. It's right on the doorstep to the left of the post. And High Point's able to clear it out of the way. There's Drellick. Over to Didone. Steven Didone loses to Formasano. Formasano inside the High Point end. Michael Formasano in the corner. Pass across in front to Rusin. Now Walsh has it. Luke Walsh. Pope John, even though they are depleted tonight, they still have firepower in that lineup. So 5-goal lead, not safe. Here is McCarthy. McCarthy across the Rusin. He fans on the shot. Seb Rusin has it in the corner now. Rusin coming in the high slot. On the backhand. Back to Formasano. Formasano with the slapper. It's loose in front. Walsh trying to put it home. It's underneath Juba. It's loose. Kicked back to Dunn. Off his skate. And it trickles right in front of us. Formasano and Didone right in front of the penalty box. Pope John getting their opportunities. Now Formasano moves ahead. Formasano with Boyce. Formasano with the slapper. Saved by Juba. And hold on. Formasano kind of fanned on it. Just got a piece of it and kind of floated in. And Juba's able to make the save. And we got activity in front between Formasano and Bernstein and their teammates on Skylands. It's just the activity of this game and so forth. And one player getting up on another. And you'll see that as many of these players play together in the travel league. So we've talked about this before. So that's how I know from Bernstein and Monda and Slater and Blytroy and Slyman and Monda. And they've all played for Skylands or some other teams around here in the past. And here is Bernstein and Monda. Monda coming in, the shot saved by Boyce, and it goes into the near corner. Now Chamberlain past Slater. Pass up to Josh Boyce. Boyce with Dunn. Connor Dunn coming in. Dunn on the backhand to the net. The shot. It's underneath Juba. He doesn't know where it is. but he's got it right between the pads underneath, and he'll freeze it for no further play. Face off to the left of Zuba. Goes in the corner. There's Bernstein with it. Noah Bernstein picks it up. Bernstein flies past Dunn. Over the red line, now over the blue. Bernstein coming in. He's got Bayer on him. The shot, he scores. Noah Bernstein into the top left corner. And the talent he is, man. 7-1. That's Bernstein's third. And a celebration. High Point's up 7-1 on Pope John. 6:32 remaining. Hey, Mike. Cut it out. Sorry. 7-1, High Point leads. 6:32 remaining. Here's McCarthy along the far boards. Well, hopefully this wakes Pope John up and makes him realize, number one, first of all, they depleted the roster tonight. We talked about that. Second of all, when they come into the games, they have to be fully prepared to play. And I think something like this will do that. Here's Walsh in front. He scores. Luke Walsh from Seb Rusin makes it 7-2. So Pope John getting back on the board. Luke Walsh from Seb Rusin, and that makes it 7-2. And again, it's only 5 goals, and there's still a period and a half to play. So it's plenty of time for them to be able to get into this. Come playoffs, that's a whole other animal. And I'm sure with a full roster, Pope John will be prepared. And that would be a great matchup. Pope John and High Point, or Pope John and West Milford Pequannock, Pope John and Jefferson, all those teams. They should all be very exciting matchups. Saved by Boyce, and they'll cover. We saw it last year in the finals of the middle school league. West Milford Pequannock went up against Jefferson. And in the first game, Jefferson had a depleted lineup, and West Milford Pequannock won 14-1. And then Jefferson got their full lineup for games 2 and 3. And I think West Milford Pequannock had a few players missing in game 3. And Jefferson wound up winning the title 2-1. In middle school leagues, sometimes it's who you can field on any given day. Puck comes in underneath Boyce. It trickles to the far corner. So anyway, the last game of the regular season is going to be on Sunday next week against Jefferson. The Falcons will take on Pope John in the 10th and final regular season game. And then we'll let you know about postseason activity. Pope John will definitely make it. Even if they do fall tonight, that would just be their first defeat. They would still remain in first place because West Milford Pequannock has 2 losses. High Point has 3. I know Jefferson has at least 3 or 4. Offside in the play, and the faceoff will be just outside the High Point end. Here's Connor Dunn to take the draw against Michael Mondo. Seven to 2, High Point leads as they win the faceoff. Goes back to Slater. Slater to Bernstein. Bernstein in the near quarter. Connor Dunn on him. The really disappointing thing for Pope John really is that the unbeaten streak or winning streak of 8 is going to go by the boards if they fall tonight. And there'll be a blemish on the record, but again, you use the game to prepare for postseason. Here's Bonda with the shot, goes wide of the net and along the boards. There's Bernstein who picks it up. Noah Bernstein along the blue line. Bernstein skating around. Bernstein with the backhand. Loses it over to Bayer. Brendan Bayer, number 10 for Pope John. Outside the zone. And there's Josh Boyce. Boyce picks it up. Boyce has got Bayer with him, and Bayer and Chamberlain both off sides. 4:28 remaining in the second period. Well, the face-off between Monda and Chamberlain. Chamberlain wins it. It goes back to Bayer. Stolen away by High Point. That's number 11, Anthony Pagano. Now Rusin with it. Rusin coming in. Rusin on net. The shot. He scores! Seb Rusin underneath the pads. of Aiden Juba. Don't go anywhere just yet. It's now 7-3. Pope John with last 2 goals, and it's still only 4:12 to go in the second period. Rusin with the goal, his second of the night, and it's 7-3 High Point. Here's the face-off. Won by Chamberlain. Now Luke Walsh at center ice with it. Walsh to Rusin. Rusin coming in on the far end to Walsh in front. Walsh back to Rusin. Rusin, the shot saved by Juba. And the rebound is underneath his pad. So Pope John starting to put some offensive pressure on Juba. And he's tall enough to make the save on that one. 3:56 remaining. Line changes for both teams. Let's see who takes the draw. It'll be Connor Dunn for Pope John. Drellick wins it. Gives it back to Blythe Troy. Clears his own and along the far boards. Here's Zahorsky. Here's Zahorsky over the red line. Now over the blue. Slyman in the corner. Sends it back around. Zahorsky holds it. Gives it to Dunn. Connor Dunn loses it outside the zone. Trying to get it back. Being tied up by Didone. Stephen Didone now in the far corner. Tried to center it. Can't do so. Here is Chamberlain. Pope John able to get another goal or two and make this interesting. Josh Boyce into the corner as it went past Slyman. Boyce with it. Slyman holds it. Now Drellick. Outside the zone and picked up by Didone. Stephen Didone over the blue line. Didone coming in. All alone, the shot. High over the crossbar and into the netting and out of play. 3:01 remaining in the second period. 7-3, High Point leads over the Pope John Lions. We are here inside the Forum at Skylands Ice World. Middle school hockey. We'll give you an update later on about some of the goings on with the other Pope John sports. Boys basketball, girls basketball had tournaments this week, as well as wrestling. Here's a face-off. Shot in by High Point. Saved by Boyce off the Anthony Monda shot. Well, I know that with wrestling, they had 9 wrestlers from Pope John Junior Lions go to the state tournament. That was announced by Coach Dave Fritz. So congratulations to those 9 wrestlers. And they're going to be moving on in state tournament. Here's a shot in front, deflected, and it comes along the boards. We'll give you an update on basketball in just a second, too. As I said, they had tournaments this past weekend. Here's Miro Zahorsky. Zahorsky comes back around behind the net. Into the corner. Now the shot in by Drellick. Off the side of the post. Trying to put it in underneath Boyce. Can't do so. And Boyce is able to cover. So Drellick had it right on the post. And couldn't slide it home. So the score remains 7-3. Real quick, those updates on the games that we had this past week for boys and girls basketball. The girls basketball team had a tournament yesterday against Pequannock at Memorial Junior High School. And they fell to defeat, but played very well in the second half for the girls team. The effort has been incredible throughout the season, and you're starting to see the improvements that you see throughout the season. So congratulations to Coach Vandermark and her girls for the effort that they've given. And we're really coming through in the second half of the games that we've been to and never giving up. And you're going to start seeing this team really come together as the season goes on, I think. As far as the boys basketball team is concerned, they had some success this week. They went ahead and defeated Newton at Pope John High School on Tuesday night by a score of 44-10. Big win for Pope John. And then they defeated North Warren in the first round of their tournament out at Wharton, New Jersey. But then they lost to Florham Park yesterday, 55-46. So they're out of the tournament, but they played very well this week. 2 wins for the boys basketball team. Congratulations to them. Saved by Boyce. And Coach Pavelko doing a great job with the boys basketball team. And so boys and girls basketball, wrestling, we've got hockey, and we're looking forward to the spring season with lacrosse, boys and girls, boys baseball, softball, try and cover as much as we can here for you on the Pope John Athletics channel here on Facebook Live. Puck along the boards. Held in by High Point. Michael Monda with it now. Knocked off his stick by Zahorsky. Now Bernstein. Cross ice pass. Into the corner. It's Pagano. Zahorsky defending that. Now Luke Walsh with the steal. And Walsh skates up ice. Gives it to Rusin. Here's Rusin. Coming over the blue line. Seb Rusin with the pass across to McCarthy. Dylan McCarthy on the far face-off circle. Stolen away by Bernstein. Bernstein takes it behind the net. Noah Bernstein with some ice. He'll turn back around. He's got Luke Walsh on him. Noah plays with his brother Ryan, who's usually on the Pope John team, but Ryan's out with a minor injury tonight. Here's a shot by Bayer. Tried a deflection by Rusin, but it went past him and off the boards. Seb Rusin sends it back into the corner. There is McCarthy. He's got Walsh in front. McCarthy stolen by Noah Bernstein. And here's Bernstein up the near boards, right in front of us. 32 seconds to go in the period. Bernstein coming in. Oh, he takes a collision by Formasano. And it comes back out to center ice. Here is McCarthy. McCarthy with Rusin. Rusin in front of the shot. He scores! Seb Rusin with the goal on the turnaround. And a hat trick for Rusin. And Pope John now cuts it to 7-4. So Bernstein was coming in, and he got into a collision with Formasano, lost the puck. Pope John was able to go the other way. They had a 3-on-0, and the pass from McCarthy to Seb Rusin, and the goal. 7-4 now. High Point's lead cut down to 3. 21 seconds remaining in the second period, so don't go anywhere yet. Here's Pope John with the puck. And it would be amazing if Pope John were able to eke this one out and go to 9-0. The opportunity's still there. Here's Anthony Monda. Formasano knocks him off the puck. Chamberlain after it. So these games, these middle school games, can be very wide open sometimes. Now there's the buzzer for the end of the second period. So High Point puts 4 on the board to make it 7-1, but then Pope John cuts into the lead. Seb Rusin with a hat trick tonight. And after the second period, it's 7-4. High Point over Pope John. We'll be back. Third period action right after this. Welcome back to Skylands Ice World inside the Forum for Pope John Middle School Hockey. Mike Formasano along with you calling tonight's action as Pope John Junior Lions go into the third period here against High Point, trailing 7-4. High Point went up 7-1, and then Pope John has scored 3 late in the second period to make it 7-4. And so now the Lions going right to left of the screen in their blue uniforms, blue jerseys, with Pope John Middle School and the Lion and the hockey sticks with the puck on the crest and names and numbers on the back. For High Point, they're in their black uniforms trimmed by red and white and maybe a little silver. Here's a pass in front underneath Boyce, and it trickles to the far boards. Outside the zone is picked up by Nate Blybetroy. Here's Blybetroy with it. High Point going left to right. Goes into the corner. Here's Bayer with it, Brendan Bayer. Pass up to Chamberlain. Comes outside the zone. Pass Slyvan. And done after him. Now Blybetroy tried to hold it. Anthony Monda with it on the backhand. Stolen away by Chamberlain. Here's Caden Chamberlain. Chamberlain sends it in. Knocked out by Didone. Now Chamberlain to Dunn. Connor Dunn with it. Dunn to Formasano. Formasano lets it rip. Deflected Pass to right post. Formasano picks it up behind. Michael Formasano coming in. Shot on goal. He scores! Michael Formasano with the goal to make it 7-5. So Pope John continues to cut into it, and they're only down by a deuce now. 7-5, Pope John trails High Point. Now here's the face-off, won by McCarthy. And now Walsh goes over to Damian Slater. So Pope John has climbed back into this, only down by 2. They were down 7-1 midway through the second. It's now 7-5. Oh, Pope John showing the heart of a lion tonight. I know, so cliche. But they have so far. Only down by 2 and still 13 minutes to go. Here is Michael Monda. Monda coming in on Zahorski. Monda with the shot. Saved by Boyce. And he covers. Good save by James Boyce. Shots on goal, 38-21 in favor of High Point. And High Point, Wallkill, Kittatinny with a full roster tonight against Pope John, who is depleted, but they still have weapons. And they have climbed back into this game. Here's Bernstein with the shot deflected by Rusin. And it goes over to Formasano. Now to Zahorski. Zahorski on the backhand. Here's Zahorski. Passes up ice. Trying to get it to Rusin. Now Formasano. Michael Formasano. Trying to get inside the High Point zone. He gets around Bernstein. He goes into the corner. Formasano with the pass. Deflected off of Slater. Behind the net. Formasano with it. Michael Formasano now. There's Rusin. Formasano with a hit on Bernstein. We have a penalty. And he's going to go to the box as the hit on Bernstein, a little too rough. 12:53 remaining in the third period. Formasano will come to the box with me. We'll take a timeout. 7-5 High Point. We'll be back right after this.
I care less.
Listen, Mike, listen, you stop it. All right? To calm down. Play your game, but don't take it personally, okay? We're just trying to win. You're trying to win, we're trying to win. Okay? It's all right.
Welcome back to Skylands Ice World inside the Forum. Face-off right in front of the Pope John net. Here is Monda. Michael Monda loses it. It goes back towards the line and stolen away by Rusin. Here's Seb Rusin coming in on the breakaway. Rusin all alone, the shot. Saved by Juba. Big save by Aiden Juba. And it goes in the corner where Slater picks it up. That would have cut the lead to 1. So now High Point the other way. Slater over the line. They're onside. In the slot. Poked away by Dunn. Here's McCarthy with it. Sends it around. It's held in by Bernstein. Bernstein at the point. Noah Bernstein with the slapper. Glove saved by Boyce, and he covers. James Boyce, another big save for Pope John. 51 seconds remaining on the minor to Formasano. 12:14 remaining in the third period. The face-off will be deep inside the Pope John end. Luke Walsh will take the draw against Benjamin Drellick. Goes along the boards. Won by Drellick. Goes to Bleibtreu. Bleibtreu sends it all the way around. In the corner now. Didone. Back out to Slyman. Dustin Slyman now. Pass intercepted by Boyce. Boyce and Bleibtreu along the boards. Now in the corner. The shot. Boyce got a piece of it. And there's Luke Walsh. Luke Walsh picks it up for Pope John. Goes back behind the net. Taken away by Drellick. Benjamin Drellick with it. Walsh steals it off his stick. Luke Walsh was able to go ahead and poke it up to Josh Boyce. And it comes outside the zone. And Dustin Slyman having trouble with handling it. Luke Walsh tried to steal it. Bleibtreu prevented that from being a breakaway. 4 seconds to go on the Formasano minor. Puck comes across to Didone. Saved by Boyce, and he covers. Another big save by James Boyce, who's been stellar in net. 40 shots on goal. Face-off will be to the right of Boyce. This is the game. It's 7-5. High Point leads. Pope John has cut into the High Point lead. It was 7-1 Midway through the second period, 4 goals by Pope John to make it 7-5, and almost a 6th by Seb Rusin would have made it a 1-goal game. So Pope John looking for the proximate goal. McCarthy will take the draw against Strelick. 11:18 to go. Here's a shot in. Goes wide of Boyce and into the corner. McCarthy after it. Dylan McCarthy along the boards now. Off of Monda's skate. We thought it was going to be a blowout at one point. 7-1 High Point. And all of a sudden, the offense opened up to Pope John. Here's Rusin. Rusin on the faceoff circle. Down the far boards. He turns back around. Holds possession. Rusin takes it back behind the net. Seb Rusin with it now. Sends it back around. For Masano. Now McCarthy. Here's McCarthy. Dylan McCarthy with it. McCarthy's got Rusin right behind him. McCarthy passes it back to Rusin. Rusin. Seb Rusin to the far face-off circle. To Formasano. Formasano with the slapper off the glass. McCarthy picks it up. McCarthy takes it back around. Dylan McCarthy. Now Rusin with the shot. Saved by Juba, and it goes over the crossbar. Here is Chamberlain in front to McCarthy. McCarthy shoots. Deflected. And High Point picks it up. Leibtry's able to send it all the way down and gets High Point out of trouble. They'll take the icing and the face-off deep inside the High Point end. Intense pressure by Pope John. Just not able to put it behind Aiden Juba. And the score remains 7-5. 10:03 remaining. We're glad you're with us. These last 10 minutes should be very interesting. Shots on goal, 40-23 in favor of High Point. Got Luke Walsh out there with Connor Dunn, Michael Formasano, Josh Boyce, and Miro Zahorski. The faceoff will be against Michael Monda, Walsh and Monda to the left of Juba. It's won by Walsh. Goes to Boyce, now back to Walsh. Walsh, tripped down, no call, we play on. And here's Bernstein. Bernstein and Formasano. Bernstein gets around, he's got 2 players on him. Has to hold up now, Walsh will poke it off his stick. Goes in the corner to Monda. Here's Michael Monda with it, behind the net. Monda with the wraparound attempt. The shot goes wide and picked up by Formasano. Michael Formasano will skate it up. Try to get around Monda. It's off his equipment. Bounces off the near boards. Right to Noah Bernstein. Bernstein with it. Bernstein in the corner. Fans on it. Josh Boyce in there to try and pick it up. Now around Dunn. Bernstein with the pass up to Monda. Just out of his reach, there's Formasano. Formasano blows past Monda. Sends it past Bernstein and Slater. Goes into the corner. Damian Slater with it behind the net. Slater in front. Now to Formasano. Formasano lets it rip. Just wide and off the boards. To the near side and picked up by Michael Monda. Monda over the red line now. Monda over the blue. Monda coming in. He's got Bernstein with him to pass. He scores. Monda and Bernstein all alone, and they're able to put it past Josh Boyce, and High Point opens up a 3-goal lead. 8-5, High Point up with 8:54 remaining. Bernstein for Monda, and High Point leads by 3. So that puts the brakes on the Pope John comeback for right now. Opens up the High Point lead to 3, and we'll see if Pope John can respond. Dunn against Strelick on the draw. It's won by Dunn, and it goes over to Chamberlain. Now Connor Dunn with it. Dunn checked off the puck by Slater, and Anthony Monda picks it up. Over to Strelick, over the red line. Now over the blue. Gets around Bayer. Strelick coming in. The shot saved by Boyce. Behind the net. Comes through the crease. Nobody home. Now Strelick with it. Strelick past Dunn. High slot. Deflected. Save. Rebound. Score. So, Anthony Monda with the goal. And it makes it 9-5 High Point. And now High Point's starting to pull away. 8:23 remaining. High Point with 2 big goals to open up a 4-goal lead. Face-off between McCarthy and Drellick. It's up in the air, poked away. Brewster gets in front of that. Now back to Zahorski. Miro Zahorski at the blue line, right in front of us. Seb Rusin over the blue. Rusin coming in. Rusin fires. Saved by Aiden Juba. He's able to get a glove on it. I got screened on it. I couldn't see where the shot went, but Juba is able to glove it. And a face-off to the right. 9-5, High Point leads with 8:05 remaining in the third. McCarthy will take the draw against Monda for High Point. Here's a face-off won by Pope John, but it goes right over to Nate Bleibtreu. Along the boards. Here's Rusin. Seb Rusin with it. Off the near boards to McCarthy. Stolen away by Bernstein. Noah Bernstein with it. Bernstein over the blue. Now to Monda. Michael Monda over the blue inside the Pope John zone. Monda coming in. Monda all alone. The shot. Save by Boyce. And he'll cover. Left pad save. Off the Monda point blank shot. 7:37 remaining. 9-5. High Point leads over Pope John. Face off between McCarthy and Monda. Monda wins it, goes forward with it, right to Boyce. And Boyce will cover and Fraser. 7:34 remaining, halfway through the third period. Monda taking the draw against McCarthy again. Monda wins it, goes back to Bernstein off of Monda, and back behind the net. Now Zahorski with it, up to Walsh. Luke Walsh with the pass to Rusin. Seb Rusin coming in with McCarthy. Rusin to McCarthy. McCarthy on the backhand. Can't tee it up. Schuber's able to make the save, and it goes back behind, and Michael Monda with it now. Monda coming over the blue line. They'll send it up. Noah Bernstein picks it up. The one message you want to get out of this game is that any kind of playoff run that Pope John wants to go on, it is not going to be easy. West Milford, Pequannock, High Point, Jefferson, all very good teams, as High Point's proving tonight. Here is Monda, back behind the net to Bernstein. But don't kid yourself, Pope John is going to be a player in these playoffs. Monda with the shot, deflected down, especially with a full lineup. Pass across, stolen by Rusin. Here is Seb Rusin over the blue, now over the red. In the skates of Bleibtreu, Monda steals it away. Poked off his stick by McCarthy, goes along the boards. Now Monda will take it behind. 6:22 to go, third period. 9-5, High Point leads. One more game on the regular season schedule for Pope John. That is next Sunday here at 7 p.m. against Jefferson. Formasano with the steal, the poke check on Bernstein. We've got a whistle. We have a penalty. It is going to be a trip. I think it's going to be a Formasano again, so. So Formasano called for the trip, and he'll go to the box.
Not letting him shoot.
Well, 6:06 to go here in the third period. Formasano in the box for the next minute and a half, and High Point to the power play. 9-5, High Point leads. Behind the net, there's Drellick. Walsh on him. Now in front, he scores. Anthony Monda with the goal to make it 10-5, High Point. And High Point, Wallkill, Kittatinny pulling away. Power play goal.
Shut the fuck up.
That'll take the face off against Drellick, and it goes along the far boards.
How do you think they're going to react?
Here is Bayer, number 10 from Hope John. Over to Chamberlain. Dunn in front of Drellick, and the stick stuck for Dunn. Now the puck comes back into the Pope John and the Formasano after it. With 22, Michael Formasano. Skates outside the zone, now over the red line. Over the blue. Formasano will take it. Inside, the pass to Boyce, just through the crease. And into the near corner. 5 minutes remaining. High Point leading by 5. 10-5 over Pope John. Now here's Slater. Pass Chamberlain, it's in Chamberlain skates. Caden Chamberlain with it now. Here comes High Point. There's Trellick. And actually, that's Thomas Cook. We haven't seen Cook tonight. Cook with the shot. Save by James Boyce. And he'll hold on. Yeah, we've seen Drellick a lot, but that's 96. Number 86, Thomas Cook. And Cook getting off the bench and into the game here. So Thomas Cook with the shot. Able to make the save. 4:40 remaining. Shots on goal. 47-25 in favor of High Point. Face-off won by McCarthy. Goes to Bernstein. Here comes Bernstein. Bernstein on the backhand with a shot. Over the glass. Oh, I'm sorry, over the crossbar and off the glass. Now Monda. Into Bernstein. Back to Monda. Rusin steals it. Here's Seb Rusin. In with Luke Walsh and Dylan McCarthy. Goes along the near boards. Now to Walsh. Walsh in the near corner. Sends it back around. Walsh. Knocked down by Rusin, his own teammate. Incidental collision. And here is Bernstein. Bernstein, pass to Monda. Michael Monda in, Formisano on him. Formisano brings down Monda. And a penalty against Formisano. 3:59 remaining. So, Formisano comes back to the box. Formisano screaming.
I hate him.
So face-off deep inside the Pope John end. And it comes back out to Rusin. Rusin over the blue line, now over the red. Seb Rusin coming in over the blue. Shot on goal, save by Juba. And it goes into the corner. Now here goes Bernstein. Zahorsky on him. Bernstein all alone. Bernstein with the shot. Saved by Boyce. And it goes into the corner. Bernstein on the far face-off circle. The pass in front to Monda. Saved by Boyce. And he'll cover. 3:26 remaining in the third period. Penalty to Dylan McCarthy. And Pope John will be down by 2. 58 seconds remaining on the Formisano minor now. McCarthy in the box, so it'll be 5-on-3 for High Point. So Drellick against Rusin on the face-off. 5-on-3 for High Point. Now comes back out to Dunn. Connor Dunn with it, up to Rusin. Over the red line, now over the blue. Rusin coming in, Rusin with the shot, he scores! Seb Rusin on a 5-on-3 shorthanded situation with 3:13 remaining, makes it 10-6. So even though High Point with a 4-goal lead, Pope John has kept the respectability factor in there, and they are close. Down 10-6 with 3:13 remaining. It has been close enough throughout. Here is Didone with it in the corner. In front of Monda. Monda fans on the shot. He had an open net. Now the wraparound attempt. Boyce makes the save. And he covers. James Boyce. A yeoman's effort in net tonight. 50 shots on goal. High Point has 10 goals, but Boyce has stood tall. Good effort. 2:58 remaining. 30 seconds on the minor to Formisano. Minute 2 on the minor to McCarthy. Here's a face-off. Won by Monda. Back to Bernstein. Bernstein knocked off his stick by Rusin. Here's Seb Rusin over the blue line. Now over the red. Bernstein knocks it off his stick. Rusin in the corner. Bernstein falls down. Here's Rusin. Rusin in front. Pass Connor Dunn. It goes into the corner. 10 seconds to go on the Formisano minor. 2:35 remaining. Here is Monda coming in. Now back behind the net. We have a penalty against Pope John. Held by Slater. Slater in the slot. The shot. Saved by Boyce. It goes behind. Picked up by Bernstein. Now to Monda. Monda in front of the shot. Right pad saved by Boyce. And we have a penalty against Pope John. So Bayer coming to the box.
I'm getting one.
10 blue.
6 to fucking.
So Bayer called for the minor. And with 2:10 remaining in the third period, High Point will go back to a 5-on-3 power play.
Oh, come on. Jesus Christ.
So Pope John getting in trouble here with these penalties in the third period.
All right, you're good.
High Point leading by 4.
Dylan, go
Face
right
off
now.
goes back to Bernstein. Bernstein trying to get to Monda. Formasano on him. Monda in the corner. Monda on the backhand. Face off shot. Formasano haranguing him. Steals it away. Good steal by Formasano. He'll clear it all the way outside the zone. And here's McCarthy on a breakaway out of the penalty box. But it's going to cross the goal line on an icing. So McCarthy would have had a chance on a breakaway, but the puck just ahead of him. And with 1:48 to go, the faceoff will be deep inside the Pope John end. 10-6, High Point leads over Pope John. Faceoff to the left of Boyce. Trellick takes the draw against Pope John, and the Lions up the ice. There is Dylan McCarthy, number 8, with Josh Boyce. Pass in front. Hits the side of the net, and Slater picks it up. Here's Damian Slater over the blue line. Now over the red. Slater comes inside the Pope John end.
Wow.
Goes in the corner.
Oh, no, come to the
Boyce
bench.
on him. Slater has got McCarthy on him. Goes into
All right,
the corner.
Seb?
Here's
Oh,
Cook.
no, who is the...
Minute 12 remaining.
Come out. Walsh goes out.
McCarthy penalty's over. Now we only have Bayer in the box for another 26 seconds.
What?
McCarthy trying to get around Pope John forward, Anthony Monda. I'm sorry, the High Point
I
forward.
think Brady's done. All right, ready?
Now Chamberlain with it. Up to McCarthy. McCarthy in the near corner. He's got Trellick on him. Or Didone, I should say. Dylan McCarthy over the blue line. He'll sneak back around and take it back into his own end. The penalty's over to Bayer. And so that brings it to 5-a-side hockey. Inside the zone, there's Walsh. 30 seconds to go. Luke Walsh with it. Trellick on him. The pass to Rooston. Shot comes in. Formasano on the edge. There is McCarthy as well. Over to Walsh. 15 seconds. Now Chamberlain in the corner. King Chamberlain with it. Poked off his stick. Now Trellick. Blythe knocks him down. 4 seconds remaining. Chamberlain with it along the boards. There's the buzzer. High Point defeats Pope John 10-6. And Pope John loses their 8-game win streak and suffers their first loss of the season. High Point with a hat trick from Noah Bernstein, goals by Michael Monda, and good goaltending by Aiden Juba. For Pope John, Seb Brewster with a hat trick, James Boyce with a great effort in net off of 51 shots. Well, it's not enough as High Point wins. Final score 10-6. That drops Pope John's record for the season to 8 wins and 1 defeat. And the final regular season game will be next Sunday against Jefferson here at 7 p.m. in Skylands Ice World. Final score once again. High Point defeats Pope John 10-6. For everyone here inside the Forum of Skylands Ice World, this is Mike Formasano saying thanks for joining us. Please join us next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Pope John and Jefferson for the regular season finale. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next Sunday.